Happy Friday. Good morning, everybody. It is 8 a.m. my time. Prices of Bitcoin currently at 50,500. Obviously, the last couple of days we had this huge sell-off. And in that, I'm sure a lot of people had questions about what the heck is going to happen to the bull market. Where are we going from here? Are we going to go down further? Do we chop around, go up? I'm here to answer those questions for you. So first things first, make sure you hit the thumbs up on the video today. That would be of great help and service for our community. If you are interested in the Advantage service, you can go to our website, thealphatrades.com. You can hit the products page up here and sign up for our Advantage membership right here. There's many options that we have. All these are the same. Every single price, you get all the services. It's just if you want it for 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, or 1 year. Okay, so at present moment, where are we in the market? Where to from here? And what caused this kind of sell-off in the market? A lot of people had questions about, well, Elon did this and this is all FUD and this and that, right? It doesn't matter. Okay, at the end of the day, market structure is king, right? Whenever we have something like this building, a sideways momentum where it looked like a huge head and shoulders pattern like this, right? Head and shoulders are generally bearish anyway, okay? But the point of this head and shoulders was not to start breaking the entire market down. At least that's not what I'm seeing yet. If you saw, the market did sort of wick into, say, this kind of neckline of the head and shoulders, but it did not break below. This is the most important part to me. And I'm going to explain this further. But let's first dive into where we are right now, contextually, right? Because this has already happened, okay? So let's start discussing where are we in terms of levels. I think some of the most important levels right now are this marker right here, 48.6. I don't think price action gets down here, 46,300. But if it does, just something to keep an eye on, okay? And then this, which was the last resistance point when we had the sharp drop, big pop up, and then we rolled over again, right? So I'd say at present moment, we can probably draw like a trend line like this, okay? We've obviously broken out of that trend line. What we don't want to do is we don't want to return back inside that trend line and especially break below this 48.6 marker. If we do, then again, we can talk about, well, at least we could talk about this low and then maybe this lower down here. Do I personally think that we're going to put in a lower low? I don't think so, right? But here's a couple reasons that we need to discuss of how we can get above and how we can get below this defined range that we have. So let me start marking out this area right here. That's around 51,250. And let's actually dive into the 5-minute time frame because it's a little bit more clear that way. Let's get rid of this line right here. So we already know we broke out of the descending trend line, right? What I just showed y'all right here. Okay. So we broke out of that, right? We're being capped by 51,250. We're being supported by 48,600. This is our range. What we do out of this range, right? What we do out of this range right here will be critically important for the next few steps, next few days. I believe personally that we will likely stay in a range bound area like this. Well, actually more so like this. I don't know, maybe for another couple of days, like 2, 3, 4 days, right? I don't think we quickly just break out. Again, statistically, I don't think we do that. I don't think we just did, 1 day of downside, 1 day of consolidation, and then the next day we just break out. I don't think so because I believe there are other bigger hands in the market that are forcing this market down. And part of that I've discussed and retweeted in my Twitter feed right here. You can follow me at _alphatrades. Okay. Grayscale itself has been effectively in a rough patch of negative NAV, meaning net asset value, negative 20.5%. So basically they're discounting their price so people can buy more GBTC. Why? Either it's a lack of interest, either people are selling more GBTC. We don't necessarily know, right? Actually, well, we do kind of know because James right here, he stated that there's a reason it's trading at such a steep discount. The shares coming to the market in recent months over the next few months is a flood. Around 530 million shares could be eligible for trading and rising to about 692 million at the end of August. Okay, so effectively, you have GBTC, who is right now quite likely a seller in the market. Now, generally the way GBTC works, if y'all are not familiar, is Grayscale offers this asset, which is GBTC, as one share. And one share is equivalent to, let's just say, 0.0008 Bitcoin or something, okay? For every share that they have, they must have the equivalent of that on their balance sheet for Bitcoin. Now, guess what? If there's not enough interest and Grayscale needs to start selling some of their position, what do they have to do with their Bitcoin? They have to sell the Bitcoin to counter the fact that their GBTC is actually getting sold, right? So this is where the conundrum is. If GBTC keeps selling further and further, Grayscale, who is one of the largest holders of Bitcoin, right? And we can go to their website, grayscale.com. Grayscale is one of the largest holders of Bitcoin, right? Let's go to single asset, Bitcoin Trust. That's fine. So they have about, wait, is this just Bitcoin or, let me see one second. Asset under management. I don't know if this is just Bitcoin though. Let me see real quick. All products. Let's do single asset. Okay. Let's go to like that. Okay. Okay. So it is 32 billion, right? So let's just say, I mean, I don't know, they own maybe like 10,000 Bitcoin or something, right? So if Grayscale, which is GBTC, their product, if it keeps getting sold, they may have to actually unload some of their Bitcoin onto the market, okay? Because they just can't keep it on their books forever, right? They have to balance out the fact that, wait a second, GBTC is not being bought up, right? So what do we do? Oh, we have to offset that by selling some Bitcoin. Okay, that's, I think, one of the fears that is sort of driving, number one, the GBTC price is down, and number two, the BTC price is down. Okay, now, obviously, the Elon tweet happened right around the time where this market was dropping right here. I don't think Elon was the sole cause of this whole market crashing. Obviously didn't help, but it rarely does the market kind of do something like this just based on, one person's tweet. I think for the most part, the market was already gearing up for some kind of, sell-off, in my opinion, or some kind of deep pullback, because guess what? Before Elon even tweeted about it, we were already creating this huge head and shoulders, right? So what do you make of that? So it's just sometimes the tweets are just ill-timed, and that's the one trigger that the market needed to just completely roll over, right? And so at present moment, what I'm kind of paying attention to is, okay, well, we know that the market rolled over. We need to get above 51,250, and then we could probably target 54,500. Why do I say 54,500? Because right around this area is where we found support numerous times and then broke down, right? And then broke down further. So get above 51,250, and then you've opened up doors right around 54, 55K. Break back below 48,600, and then you're probably heading to 46, maybe even lower lows down here. Okay. On the daily basis, again, here's kind of how I'm looking at the market. I mentioned to my Advantage members, and again, just FYI, our paid members, which are called Advantage members, right? If you pay for the subscription, you guys get 2 videos a day. Okay, every single day I put out videos like this on Zoom sessions live, and I do it only for Advantage members. And then I talk about, the positions I'm taking in the market, what I'm buying, what I'm selling, target profit, et cetera, right? All this information is readily available for the Advantage members. Okay. And then on top of that, we have this 5K count challenge, which we started at the beginning of the year. You can see this playlist, right? I created for my Advantage members. At the beginning of the year, we started with $5,000 in our account. As of 2 days ago, we were at 20,200. I posted another screenshot for the members. It's at 21,000, almost $200, right? So again, we've done some phenomenal work of trading, buying good assets, even in some cases, hedging the market. Like actually, just a day or two ago, when the market was starting to slip away, we were actually in a short hedge position. And I think we actually shorted ETH right around 4,000. I think we shorted ETH around like $4,000. We closed our short right around 3,600, 3,650 right here. So we made a nice, move and a gain on the way down, and we closed out our position. After that, as you can see, the market kind of rallied back up, right? So we didn't really want to deal with this. I figured the market would rally back up. And so we actually trade both sides of the market, right? Generally, we don't try to short such a strong trending market, such an aggressive bull market. But if we're hedging and we're just trying to look for a protection, I'm going to have to take a short, or I'm going to have to go into cash, do something really. And so again, that's really what we did to protect our position. Obviously, a lot of people got destroyed in this, but I would believe that our community did just fine. I kept our members updated throughout the day. I warned them about some of the bearish signs in the market from way back here. This is how you stay updated in our community. We have the 5K count challenge, Advantage announcements. We have the Bitcoin analysis here, Bitcoin chat, where we can discuss all the things happening in the market, altcoin analysis, altcoin chat, all the stuff that we're seeing in the market, I put out for my Advantage members. Okay. So this is the kind of information, that we generally talk about. All right. So anyway, back to the market. All right. I want to talk about ETH real quick, just before I forget. So if y'all look at this marker right here, right, see 4,050, guess what? This was, after this sharp drop, right? This was the last high we put in after the sharp rebound and then rolled over again. So what do I think will happen to this area right here? I believe that price action is probably going to dig right into this area, take out anyone who shorted here and stop them out. Now, after the market stops them out, I don't know what happens, right? Do we go up from here, or do we just stop out those positions and then roll over and still, build a range here again for ETH, just like I stated for BTC? I think the higher likelihood right now is probably we range somewhere in this area. I think there's also possibilities that ETH maybe makes another lower low. And the reason I say that is because Ethereum had, if you look at this, right, from basically this 24th, 25th of April. So from low to high, right, we made almost a good 101% move without any significant retracement. Okay. Generally, in my experience, when the market goes up so aggressively, right? So this was really the last, big wave, in my opinion. Okay. When the market goes up so aggressively, you should expect some form of consolidation, longer retrace. And that might take prices for Ethereum down to, say, 50 fib, maybe 618 fib, right? And so the 50 fib is around 3,200. The 618 fib is around 3,000 flat. The 618 fib is typically very important because it's the golden pocket, we call it. Anywhere between 61.8 and 65% is what we call the golden pocket. Why is it the golden pocket? Because whenever price makes, a big move like this, or even from the bottom side up, right? Whenever price makes a big move like this, generally the most pain is felt when price drops about 60 to 65% from, this measurement to this measurement on the way down. And this is where a lot of retail will generally fail to hold on to their position. They'll capitulate their position in this area right here. That's why prices in terms of Fibonacci's work so well, because the pain point is just about that 50 to 60% marker. And boy, that is, very, very tough pain for a lot of people to handle, whether you're in a spot position or a long position or levered long position. Okay, so my thought process is we could probably make it down here if Ethereum is going to retrace further. So why would Ethereum retrace further, right? Here's where we kind of get into the bigger picture of crypto. Okay, so we know for the most part that ETH has been on a rampage. We know that EIP 1559, which is coming up in, I think, June, if I'm not mistaken, it's a huge event for Ethereum. And honestly, I think it'll be probably one of the biggest events for Ethereum that will help propel it, much higher. But does it mean that from here we just have to go rocket up? Not really, right? We can retrace all the way to 3,000, 2,900, and then from there break out to like 5K or 6K within the matter of a couple of days again. I think that's entirely possible. At present moment, though, because the market got such a wide shock, I don't think that ETH is just going to rip right through 4K and 4,400, which was the previous high, and just put in higher highs. It's possible, of course, but I would probably figure that at least because Ethereum is so bound to BTC in times like this, as you can see, even though Ethereum has the fundamental event, which is the EIP 1559 change, yet it still got completely clobbered in the, a few hours, just the same way Bitcoin did. So for the most part, we know that Ethereum and most of the market is very, very closely tied to Bitcoin. And so if Bitcoin is going to hang around this area and maybe even drag prices down further again, then I'm expecting something similar for Ethereum. I don't think Ethereum has to drop into a lower low, but in case it does, like I said, you want to keep an eye on that 3,000 level or even this 3,175 level, which is this consolidation period before we made that big move up. So if price, say, comes down like this, watch this area for price to wick into, right? And this could be your buying opportunity right in here. Okay, not investment advice, but I'd be looking for it, right? So that's Ethereum. All right, now bigger picture. Okay, here's kind of what I'm seeing. Excuse me. So we know that Bitcoin has been moving sideways for a while. We know that dominance for Bitcoin has been falling for a significant period of time, right? Basically from the middle of March till now May, almost 2.5 months now, right? So what does this tell us? Okay, well, in this time that Bitcoin has been going down, or sorry, dominance has been going down, Bitcoin price action has been going sideways, altcoins for the most part have been able to rejoice and put in huge higher highs, right? At least some of them. Okay. Now, what do I think is going to happen? Well, I think at some point, I don't know when, I believe that dominance is going to base and then start to turn back up. And when that turnaround happens, I think altcoins will take a pause, right? Altcoins will themselves create a range, maybe move sideways or maybe even, I don't know, move down further, right? And I don't mean just for Ethereum. I mean like across the board, most altcoins. And then I believe Bitcoin will be ready for the next move up. Now, I've discussed why I'm still bullish on the BTC market, right? BTC or crypto at large. I have this pin post from the beginning of the year, and I talked about why crypto and the stock market will likely be bullish if all these things are intact. For example, are interest rates low? Yes, they are. They haven't been changed by the Fed. Dollar printing press on? Yeah, the Fed is still printing money. High beta and growth outperforming value. This means like, tech and growth stocks, are they performing value stocks like utilities and energy and industrials, right? Yes, they are. I mean, generally they have for most of the year. Obviously, value in the stock market space, it did take a big uptick, but still tech stocks and growth stocks had a killer year from the middle of last year till almost the beginning of this year, or almost till February. But guess what happened, right? Let's just take Tesla for example. Okay, Tesla basically put in its high right around middle of January, end of January, and since then it's just been putting in a pretty deep retracement, and it doesn't even look like it's done, right? It doesn't look like the whole retracement is done. In fact, I would argue that Tesla looks like it's going to take maybe one more plunge down. I don't know how much deeper it's going to go, but if Tesla moves down and say other parts of the market are going to move down. So for example, we look at the Qs, which are the NASDAQ index, right? NASDAQ is, basically an index that you can keep an eye on for tech and growth stocks. So if the Qs are also looking like crap like this, and the Qs are going to break down a little bit further, I would figure Tesla, all the tech and growth stocks are going to take a hit. And I would figure BTC will probably take a bit of a hit too. So what you ideally want is, for example, in the Qs, in Tesla, you don't want too much more selling. You want maybe just another terrible day, one day, and that's it. And that just puts the end puts the end to the bearish downside move. I would figure that Bitcoin would probably be done here, but if it were not for the fact that the Qs and Tesla is moving down, I would say much more confidently that Bitcoin is definitely found a bottom. But I can't say that because in this area right here, this is first of all very strong support. Okay, but guess what? If you break this, this is my thought process after that. Okay. If we break this support right here that we're hanging on to right now, which is incredibly strong support, it's entirely possible that we head into this area right here, this pocket, 38 to 42K. Now, it doesn't seem like a lot from where we are or where we've dropped from, but what that will do is if you break this support right here, that changes sort of the near term or medium term momentum for the market. Even though it's only another 15-20% drop from where we are right now, the implications of that, of us breaking this strong support, will probably be kind of deadly, not only for Bitcoin but for the rest of crypto. And that's something definitely to be concerned about. So what you don't want right now is the price action to just drag this thing further down here. What you ideally want is base being built right here. And then from here, we break out. Now, again, like I said, we want the stock market, right, the Qs right here, to make sure that they've found their bottom, wherever that is, hopefully here. And same thing with Tesla and stocks like Amazon and Salesforce and all these, tech and growth stocks that we pay attention to. Okay. And that will imply probably Bitcoin's bottomed, and from here, we're going to go on up. Okay. The other thing that I pay attention to in the altcoin space is, if you go to Masari.io, right, you can look up the sectors down here. Okay. In the sectors, this is how I do it. Okay. I look at, say, I don't know, 1 month, right? And then I do this. And I say, okay, in the last month, what have been the hottest sectors in the crypto space? Well, smart contract platforms, and within this is probably like ETH and Solana and that kind of stuff, right? So you can see ETH, Cardano, Polkadot, Solana, EOS, all this stuff has clearly been performing really, really well, right? So you definitely want to pay attention to these right here. But if we go back, say 3 months, what has been performing really, really well? It's been centralized exchanges. So it's like your FTT tokens, your BNB, Huobi, right? All this stuff has been your KuCoin shares. This stuff has been performing really, really well. So you want to keep an eye on these tokens as well. All right. So make sure y'all, go to Masari, check out the sectors, and you could do this on even a 7-day basis, right? In the last 7 days, what's been performing really well? Well, it's been the smart contract platforms, right? What's the worst performer? It's currencies, things like Bitcoin, or I guess Ethereum falls under that too. But, for the most part, Bitcoin was a drag on this sector, right? So I'd say for the most part, centralized exchanges and this smart contract platform, this sector is the one you want to be paying attention to for the next, I don't know, several weeks or several months. I know I'm paying attention to it, right? The other assets that I'm really, really bullish on, I'm going to talk about these and then we'll wrap it up, okay? So I'm very, very bullish on Radium, all right? The reason why is because Radium is an integral part of the Solana ecosystem and the Ethereum DEX. We know that the L1s, which is, the layer 1 protocols like Ethereum and Solana and Polkadot, these have been doing really well. They have, certain parts to that ecosystem that have been, more prominent projects. Like, for example, for Ethereum, you have things like, Sushi Swap and Uni and all this stuff, built on it, right? For Solana, it's the Serum DEX. Radium itself is kind of a DEX. What is it called? Soul Farm, all this kind of Step Finance. These are all projects and DEXs as part of the Solana ecosystem. Now, Radium is what we call an AMM, an automated market maker. Okay, AMMs are important because they help facilitate the buy and sell side order flow on these DEXs. So they're critical parts of the DEX space, but also they're critical parts of helping facilitate that volume in the ecosystem of Solana. So this is why I'm very bullish on Radium, because it's been doing a tremendous job of, keeping things pretty seamless in the Solana ecosystem and the DEX space. Now, I personally use things like Step Finance and Radium.io, and it's been really nice. I don't really use Sushi and all that stuff that much anymore because the damn gas fees are so high. With Solana, the gas fees are really, really low and it's extremely fast. And on top of that, again, you have a protocol like Radium that's helping with, the market making, meaning you don't get huge, slippages, you don't get those, big rug pulls and whatnot. Radium is doing a good job in that sense. So that's why I'm pretty bullish on it. And I personally think Radium at present moment, heavily undervalued. Okay. So, just something to keep an eye on as a project. I don't know how much lower it'll go, but if it goes lower, I might just pick up some more. Serum is, like I said, right, just the counterpart of Radium. This is sort of the DEX. And I believe that Serum is probably going to do incredibly well in the future too. I held Serum at one point at $2. I think I sold somewhere around maybe $8 or $9 on average. And then I got out of that position. I haven't really bought in since. I'm going to let the market do its thing, let it figure itself out. And, after that, we'll see where it goes. Okay. What else? Matic. So Matic is another asset that I'm really bullish on. I personally think Matic is one of the better projects in the Ethereum umbrella, because what Matic has effectively done is it has solved some of the scaling and speed issues, transaction speed issues for Ethereum network. And that's huge because Ethereum is the biggest L1 ecosystem out there. So Matic can help something like Ethereum. Yeah, that's huge. And Matic has recently partnered up with Sushi as well to help facilitate those transactions. So I think Matic is heavily undervalued. I think I'm aiming for Matic to go towards like $1.50, $2 at least. But again, not investment advice. I'm not telling you guys to buy. Disclaimer, I own Matic. But that's my thought process. I think fundamentally Matic is very useful. I have other projects, then I have on my watch list, right? For example, SNX, right? This is your, synthetics platform. Uni, Rune, Solana, of course, I talked about, and AVAX, which is, in my opinion, again, another sort of ecosystem project, which I think is undervalued, kind of like, when Polkadot was coming up. I think AVAX is the same way. I don't see any reason why we can't have multiple chains like AVAX and Ethereum and Solana and Polkadot. Okay. It's very still early in the market to determine that, Solana has to be the next big thing or Polkadot has to be the next big thing. If you spread your chips across the board, like in Ethereum, Solana, AVAX, Rune, Polkadot, generally, I think all those will go up, but then you could figure out who is like the biggest runner, like who's the strongest runner out of those. And then you can start trimming your bags in the other and then load up bigger onto the strongest runner. That's generally how I go about my portfolio. Okay. Whenever I start seeing weakness in an asset, I cut it and I put money into the stronger running asset or the asset that's better holding its value. All right. I think that's pretty much it. I do want to say one thing. We've been talking about Nexus Mutual for a little while. So let me check this out. So Nexus Mutual, Alpha Trades, Medium. So we wrote about Nexus Mutual, was it in February? All right. I think it was in, where was it? Let's see. I forgot exactly when. Oh, yeah, February 7th, right? February 7th. Okay, so you could actually go to WNXM USDT. So this is the wrapped WNXM pair, right? So I let my Advantage members know, right around February. So where was prices? February 7th, right? So right around here, right? This area right here. So prices around that time were about, I don't know, $54, $55. This is Nexus Mutual is part of the insurance space, which again is very boring. But I think if DeFi is supposed to succeed, it must have an insurance space because you have so many hacks, so many issues with projects, rug pulls, all this stuff. You need things like the insurance industry to help kind of give projects, give people this confidence, this support, right? This moral sort of integrity to keep themselves accountable. And so I believe Nexus Mutual will probably be, very a prominent part of that, burgeoning, growing DeFi space. So anyway, point is, in Nexus Mutual, I'm up almost 100%. I still think this project is very undervalued. You can go buy WNXM on SushiSwap if you want to, or you could go to the Nexus Mutual website and you can KYC and do your registration and stuff. Obviously, you have to, give up your driver's license ID, your passport, or whatever it is, and then you could buy those tokens. Or you could just buy the wrapped WNXM on SushiSwap or even Binance. Okay, so that's the one asset that I'm paying attention to. Now, the other asset that I mentioned months ago was Theta. Now, I was a big bull in the NFT space way back from, I think, August or September last year, right? So if you look right here, we have, I wrote about Theta, or actually a writer did, Bradley. He wrote about Theta October 1st. I was bullish on Theta from way back then because I knew that the DeFi space and the NFT space were going to work together. And I think NFTs are going to be huge because collectibles, art, all this stuff is so part of our DNA within the crypto ecosystem, that it was like a no-brainer to me, right? So where is October 1st? October 1st is, where is it? Okay, so somewhere around here, right? Right around 75 cents. So from 75 cents, as you can see up here, Theta made a huge move. Now, I was dumb and I got into Theta at 70 cents and I sold out around like $1.40, $1.45, somewhere in this area. And then it just ran up like another 10x. So I felt really stupid. Obviously, I made money off of it. You know, I made a good 2x, 3x off of it, but it was just kind of silly to watch it run up so much. Obviously, you know, I made money on many other projects, and it doesn't really bother me a whole lot. Sometimes, you know, when we put out really good fundamental research, and in our community, we have so many smart people that are doing research all the time. For example, like Elizabeth, you know, she is amazing at providing information within the altcoin world. You know, more often than not, she is maybe like a couple of hours ahead of me to just update me on information about, you know, specific altcoins that are about to run. And then I see, oh crap, she's already posted about it. So people like Elizabeth or Jordan, you know, very, very smart people in our community who will find information, post about it, and then our community as a whole benefits, right? Like this kind of information. You know, for example, I actually posted about this yesterday, and we talked about the outflows on Bitcoin on Coinbase. Well, why is that important? Well, when you have outflows in Bitcoin, that means people are pulling Bitcoin off the exchanges. That means there's less supply of Bitcoin on these exchanges, and that means that there's less sell pressure. So if there's less sell pressure, well, price has an easier path on the way up, because whoever is taking that Bitcoin off the exchange has really no intention to sell it right now, right? They're effectively just pulling it off the exchange. They're saying, hey, we're just going to take this away for a while, a month, 3 months, a year, 5 years, I don't know. But at least for now, we don't have to worry about it. So someone big bought that Bitcoin and pulled it off the exchange. That's a good thing, okay? So this is the kind of information that you get, folks, in our Advantage community, right? Tons of analysis. Like I said, you know, everything that we're talking about in markets, whether it's Bitcoin, whether it's DeFi assets right here, I provide a ton of information. Even the DEX and NFT space, you know, all kinds of information I provide for Advantage members. We have chat channels for every single area of the market: Bitcoin, the traditional altcoins, DeFi, NFTs and DEXs. And then, of course, we have, you know, you could discuss the stock market, what exactly is happening in the stock market world. So anyway, I hope you all come join our membership, thealphatrades.com. You could hit the products page right here, sign up. And when you do sign up, shoot me a message right here, or any of the admins or moderators, you know, whenever they do come up. All right. Hit the thumbs up. I hope you all join. Take care. Have a fantastic weekend, and we'll talk soon.